flipped over.
Talk and all the focus on Iraq. Why is the Israeli-Palestinian peace process suddenly on the front burner again?
Well, the Arab countries want to see something from the United States. If they're going to engage in lowering the temperature in Iraq, they want to see the United States actively engaged in lowering the temperature between the Palestinian Authority and the Israelis. So that's why you have State Department spokesman saying that there's planning between Secretary Rice and Prime Minister Olmert, as well as Palestinian President Abbas for possible meetings. One other thing we want to show you, Katie. Iraq's President Talabani today, we have some pictures of this, was in Iran talking with Iranian leaders at their invitation. Another idea that's been talked about, that Iran and Syria need to become more actively engaged in bringing peace to Iraq. That idea, Prime Minister Maliki in Iraq says, must come from Iraq, the outreach, not the U.S., Katie.
All right, Jim Axelrod traveling with the president tonight. As for getting Iran and Syria involved in diplomatic efforts, that's just one possible recommendation from the so-called Iraq Study Group. The special commission, headed by James Baker and Lee Hamilton, is expected to issue its report within a few weeks. More now from national security correspondent David Martin.
Just down Pennsylvania Avenue from the White House, members of the Iraq Study Group met in secret to begin drafting their recommendations for a new strategy for the increasingly bloody war in Iraq. One source close to the group predicted they would produce a unanimous report or nothing at all. They spent an hour interviewing UN Secretary General Kofi Annan by video conference, even as Annan publicly warned Iraq is on the brink of civil war.
I think given the developments on the ground, unless something is done drastically and urgently to arrest the deteriorating situation, we could be there. And in fact, we are almost there.
The most dramatic option on the table is an increase of up to 20,000 American troops in an effort to keep a lid on the violence. The Army is now studying how it could accomplish the buildup and how long it could sustain it. Just 2 weeks ago, the commander of U.S. forces in the Middle East told Congress he didn't want more American troops. But in a subsequent interview with 60 Minutes, General John Abizaid put that option back on the table.
I have not precluded the notion of more troops coming into Iraq. We'll do whatever we have to do to stabilize the situation.
One option members of the study group seem certain to agree on is the need for more American trainers. Abizaid wants to double the current number of 5,000 in order to accelerate the turnover to Iraqi troops. But there is no agreement yet on whether to set an actual timetable for an American withdrawal, which some members of the Iraqi study group see as the only way to put pressure on Prime Minister Maliki to make the political concessions needed to head off civil war.
Katie, one source says the panel hasn't hit any deal breakers, so they could deliver their report as early as next week. Katie?
David Martin at the Pentagon. Thank you, David. And we'll be anchoring this broadcast later this week from Amman, Jordan, site of the meeting between President Bush and the Iraqi Prime Minister. Meanwhile, here in this country, a heartbreaking tragedy overnight. Fire destroyed a group home for the elderly and mentally ill in southwestern Missouri. At least 10 people were killed, including one worker, and more than 24 were injured. Officials are saying the fire is suspicious. Lee Cowan reports tonight from Anderson, Missouri.
From the looks of the damage, it would have been difficult for anyone to escape last night's fire, let alone the 32 mentally ill and elderly residents who once called this place home. Most were sleeping when the fire erupted in the single-story building just after 1 a.m. Neighbor Betty Wood heard the screams and ran out to help.
You could tell they were just in shock, and they just couldn't get their eyes off the fire.
The Anderson Guest House is not a nursing home, but a state-licensed assisted living facility where the mentally ill and elderly can live under supervision. One of the residents would regularly walk across the street to this animal hospital just to visit with Fred, his cat. He wasn't allowed to have Fred in the home, but they don't think that man made it out alive.
I had every hope that he would get out because, like I said, it's going to be a very sad thing not to see him come through that door anymore.
The cause of the fire is still a mystery, but on Saturday, another fire broke out in one of the rooms here. But it was put out with little or no damage. Now this second fire, coming less than 24 hours later, has investigators wondering if someone set it.
We're not saying it's definitely a crime scene, but we're treating it as if it is and trying to determine if the fire was set by somebody that had a nefarious motive.
Now, Katie, this may sound surprising, but this building was actually old enough that by state law it wasn't required to have fire sprinklers installed. Still, a fire safety inspection that was done as recently as March showed that there were no problems with the fire exits or the fire alarm installed inside, but it still ranks as one of Missouri's deadliest fires. Katie.
Thank you, Lee. And Lee, by the way, raises some important questions. How safe are these homes for the mentally ill, and who is regulating them? CBS News Chief Investigative Correspondent Armin Katayan has a closer look.
The operator of the ill-fated Anderson guest house has reportedly been cited in recent years by the state of Missouri for the most severe violations of fire laws in 2 other facilities it runs. In October 2003, the state found that Joplin River of Life Ministries failed to obtain an annual fire inspection for its residential care facility in Carthage, and that staff members at another facility in Joplin placed a pencil in the reset switch to prevent fire alarm activation. Just last month, the Missouri Mental Health Task Force issued this draft report demanding far more protection inside all homes for the mentally disabled. But it may not have gone far enough.
We always need to be on our toes on oversight. We held 6 hearings in all corners of the state and heard from well over 100 witnesses, many hours of hearings, and no one in any of those hearings raised issues of fire safety and fire codes.
Homes for the mentally disabled have mushroomed in the last decade as mental health advocates push states to shift money from larger public institutions to smaller, privately run facilities, but not without problems. In New York, news reports of chronic abuse and neglect in adult homes prompted calls to overhaul the state system. In Kentucky, investigators recently found repeated medication errors, inadequate staffing, and poor sanitation. And back in Missouri, a recent investigation found over a 5-year period there were 21 deaths, more than 300 injuries, and almost 2,000 other incidents tied to abuse or neglect by caregivers. And late today, confirmation that the owner of the facility, Robert J. DuPont Jr., pleaded guilty to felony health care fraud in 2000 in connection with a scheme to bilk Medicaid and Medicare. Katie.
All right, thank you, Armin. There is much more CBS News straight ahead. And still to come, overweight in America. Is your brain somehow telling your body what to eat and when?
If you have a cold and high blood pressure, you should know that decongestants in these cold medicines can raise your blood pressure. So why take them? Take decongestant-free Corsedin HBP. Powerful cold relief that won't raise your blood pressure.
You've been looking forward to a celebration this big all year. It's Red Lobster's Big Seafood Festival, a feast of new combinations of our biggest seafood. Indulge in rock lobster tail, king crab, and jumbo scampi. Only at Red Lobster.
I try to do whatever I can to take care of my health. It's a very big part of who I am. So when I found out I had osteoporosis, I knew I had to meet it head on. Then my doctor told me about Boniva, how it helps build strong, healthy bones to prevent fractures with just 1 pill a month. And I thought, hey, I can do this. Unlike other treatments you have to take once a week, I only need Boniva once a month.
You should not take Boniva if you have low blood calcium, severe kidney disease, or cannot sit or stand for at least 60 minutes. Follow dosing instructions carefully. Stop taking Boniva and tell your doctor if you experience difficult or painful swallowing, chest pain, or severe or continuing heartburn, as these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems.
If you're as determined as I am to have strong, healthy bones, don't wait. Ask your doctor if Boniva is right for you. I'm so glad I did.
Once monthly Boniva. There's only one. Ask your doctor for a free trial offer or call 1-800-4-BONIVA.
Great teams like ours don't come along very often.
That's what makes the AARP Walgreens team so special. Trusted names working together to help those 50 and over live healthier lives.
With new ways to save, ongoing programs, and easier access to AARP resources, like their Medicines Made Easy guide with tips to help you manage your medications.
These benefits are just the beginning. Not an AARP member? Stop by Walgreens for a free 1-year membership. Walgreens and AARP. Smarter, stronger, healthier.
Maud, cows are out.
I found it.
Things are easier to find when they're stuck together. Gladware interlocking lids lock together so you always know where they are. For lids that are easy to find, get Glad.
Rodents are a threat, and in my 16 years as an exterminator, I've seen many homes like this one. So in my home, I'd use Decon Baits. It guarantees rodent elimination. That's why I trust Decon.
Decon, America's #1 brand.
Wall Street hadn't seen a day as bad as this one in months. The Dow fell 158 points today. And one big reason, the holiday shopping season. Reports from big box retailers like Walmart show it may in fact be off to a slow start. Will internet shoppers, though, save the season? That story, a controversial police shooting, and a continuing spy mystery, all in tonight's news briefing.
I'm Cynthia Bowers in Chicago. After last week's Black Friday in stores like these, now it's on to the internet and Cyber Monday. 60 million of us are expected to shop online today. That's 20% of the population. But experts say every day has become Cyber Monday.
People are shopping online all the time. They're not waiting to get to the office on the Monday after Thanksgiving to start their Christmas shopping.
Estimates are this year's online sales will be up 24% to $24 billion. Retailers used to think online shopping would hurt in-store sales. Now the message is ignore the internet at your own peril.
I'm Byron Pitts in New York. The mayor called it an outrage after police officers fired their weapons 50 times at 3 unarmed men over the weekend, killing a man just hours before his wedding. They were outside of a strip club in the early morning hours Saturday morning. 3 men were leaving a bachelor party when police say one of them drove into an undercover police officer with his car. That officer opened fire, so did 4 others. When it was over, Sean Bell was dead. The officers have been placed on paid leave. The mayor's called for a full investigation.
I'm Sheila McVicker in London. Polonium-210 killed the former Russian spy Alexander Litvinenko, and today traces of the radioactive substance have been found at 2 new locations in London, including this office building. It's not yet known how it got here. In all, there are now 6 locations throughout the city where investigators have found traces of the radioactive substance. So far, at least 3 people are being tested for radiation poisoning. They're all reporting some kind of illness. One word the police are not using is murder. They are calling Litvinenko's death suspicious, but they also say they are not ruling anything in or out.
And coming up next on the CBS Evening News, we begin a special series, Overweight in America. Do we need bigger jeans? Because of our genes.
For the independent investor, TD Ameritrade has proprietary tools like trade triggers. It lets you place trades automatically even when you're away from the computer. And Market Motion Detector, a tool that shows the speed of price and volume movements. Tools for the long-term investor. Tools for the active trader. Tools for independence. TD Ameritrade. Independence is the spirit that drives America's most successful investors.
I feel these tingling sensations deep inside my legs.
It's a tightening feeling that keeps me from getting to sleep.
For me, it's creepy crawling. I feel like I have to get up and move just to get some relief.
My doctor said it's restless leg syndrome, or RLS. He prescribed Requip, the first RLS medication approved by the FDA. He said Requip would help relieve those RLS symptoms that won't let me fall asleep. Requip helped me make peace with my legs.
Requip may cause you to fall asleep or feel very sleepy during normal activities such as driving, or to faint or feel dizzy when you stand up. Tell your doctor if you experience these problems, or if you drink alcohol or are taking medicines that make you drowsy. Side effects include nausea, drowsiness, vomiting, and dizziness. Most patients were not bothered enough to stop taking Requip. Ask your doctor if Requip can help put your RLS to rest.
We had a health concern. Turned out to be nothing, but it got us doing more to protect our health, like taking silver.
Centrum Silver age-adjusted multivitamins have key antioxidants that help support natural cell repair.
Our health protection starts with silver.
Sitting still isn't for us, so I needed a pain reliever for my arthritis pain. Then I got something just for my aching shoulder. Different pains, different pain relievers, but now Advil is my every pain reliever. Works wherever I hurt. I'm all Advil.
I wonder who it's for.
Could be anyone.
My favorite color. What a coincidence.
I did ask for something shiny.
It's that time of year again when you'll find exceptional values on your favorite Lexus vehicles.
Well, I have some things to do inside. Me too.
See Lexus of Portland.
Well, we've recovered from Thanksgiving barely, but we will soon be facing the next round of holiday temptations. So we thought this would be a good time to take a comprehensive look at what's being called an epidemic in this country. Did you know some 127 million American adults are overweight? That includes as many as 66 million who are obese and 9 million who are morbidly obese. And of course, we all know why. We eat too much, don't exercise enough, and what used to be considered a platter now passes for a plate. But according to the latest research, what's making some of us fat may have less to do with willpower and more to do with wiring. Here's the first in our week-long series, Overweight in America, the science, the solutions.
Walk all the way home from the top, double curl.
For Scotty Hill, losing weight has always been one step forward, 2 steps back.
Turn, step, right.
Is it hard for you? She's 28, a social worker in New York City, and has spent most of her adult life either starting a diet or breaking one. How frustrating has it been for you, Scotty, to diet only to have the weight come back?
Extremely frustrating and extremely tiring. That's me as a little girl.
Scotty, who has weighed as much as 283 pounds, says it infuriates her when people assume she's undisciplined.
I work like crazy and have not spent my life filling my mouth with food and lying around the house all day long.
In fact, there's a growing school of thought that what makes Scotty heavy is determined by her brain chemistry and genetic makeup.
It's like your eye color or your height, your blood pressure. These are all instances of very strong genetic predispositions.
Dr. Rudy Leibel has been studying the science of weight for 30 years. He says people like Scotty have actually been blessed with the hardiest of genes that have helped the human race survive.
Pastrami and corned beef, that's all it is.
But in today's society, where food is everywhere,
2 large fry.
Those genes are more of a curse.
There are a set of genes that we have acquired as a result of evolution over the past several millions of years that are designed to save energy, to make us efficient, to favor the ingestion of food.
To help us if there's a famine, for example?
Exactly right.
Doctors have isolated at least 30 to 40 genes that affect body weight. Some of these genes produce hormones like ghrelin, which tells your brain, I'm hungry. Another hormone is leptin, which is secreted by fat cells. It signals the hypothalamus that you have enough stored fat to survive and don't need to eat. These mice, for example, are producing the right amount of leptin.
So these guys eat normally, run around, they're very happy.
But in many overweight people, the brain may not be receiving the message their leptin is sending. The message of, I'm full.
This guy has a mutation of the leptin gene, and you can see that this animal is much fatter, virtually inactive, and if we were to measure its food intake, it would be eating more food, obviously, than these guys.
Looks pretty unhappy, too.
Well, it's very big. So if we gave this animal very low doses of leptin, just enough to replace to the level that's in these mice, the obesity would go away, the food intake would decrease, and this animal would ultimately look like one of them.
Really?
Yes.
Dr. Leibel believes within the next 10 years, there will be medications that will help reduce our collective girths, much like statins have reduced cholesterol. Are you saying that willpower has nothing to do with obesity?
I'm saying that when you look at something as complicated as body weight, there is a biology, there are basic hormonal and neurologic phenomena that actually dictate this kind of very complex behavior.
I'm going to show you savory chicken in particular because it's my favorite. I think for me, I finally decided in order to lose weight and to maintain an ideal weight, it's something that I have to be conscientious and aware of every single day.
So far, Scotty has lost 57 pounds and hopes to lose another 50.
Reverse turn straddle.
While she's relieved to learn that her weight may be in large part determined by her genes, she is determined to fight Mother Nature and prove that her behavior can be more powerful than her biology.
Double curl.
And by the way, it's not just the abundance of food that is making the struggle harder. Some experts say air conditioning and sleep deprivation may also be contributing to our expanding physiques. You can learn more and get more information at cbsnews.com and at our partner in health coverage, webmd.com. Just search weight loss. And tomorrow in part 2 of our special series, 1 in 15 American teens is dangerously overweight. But is surgery really the answer? And would you be considered overweight? Find out tomorrow, if you dare, on The Early Show, when you can actually track or check your body mass index. Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, a lucky break for a young dancer whose life imitates art. Yep, she's the one.
2,000 years ago, they probably never imagined people would be going past this at 50 kilometers per hour. Just like we probably can't predict what we'll be driving in the future. That's why we're developing thermoplastic car body parts that are lightweight and highly impact resistant. Not to mention recyclable, so we can keep things moving forward. I'm Marina Anglani, and I work for ExxonMobil.
I've studied the human heart for a lifetime, and there's something you should know.
Inventor of the Jarvik artificial heart, Dr. Robert Jarvik.
High cholesterol can lead to heart disease. When diet and exercise aren't enough, adding Lipitor lowers bad cholesterol 39 to 60%. And Lipitor is clinically proven to reduce your risk of heart attack and your risk of stroke if you have several common risk factors for heart disease. The more we learn about Lipitor, the more impressed I am. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. You need simple blood tests to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor if you're taking other medications or if you have any muscle pain or weakness. They may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Lipitor is one of many treatment options to consider with your doctor. Could you be doing more with Lipitor? Ask your doctor.
Visit Lipitor.com for a free trial. Ask your doctor about controlled release formula Ambien CR. Then call today for a 7-day free trial offer. It's the only sleep aid with 2 layers to help treat both types of sleep problems. One dissolves quickly to help you fall asleep fast. The other dissolves slowly to help you stay asleep. Ambien CR is a treatment option you and your doctor can consider along with lifestyle changes and can be taken for as long as your doctor recommends. Until you know how Ambien CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Be sure you're able to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active again. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic. However, like most sleep medicines, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. A good night's sleep shouldn't be an on-off thing, so call today for your 7-day free trial offer of the latest Ambien, Ambien CR. And don't forget the CR.
Tomorrow, do you know how to determine how much you should weigh? By calculating your body mass index, you'll get the answers. In a special series, Overweight in America, see how to transform your health on The Early Show.
Singular sensations are as rare on Broadway as cheap tickets. For every wannabe star who gets a part, there are thousands more waiting for their big chance. While they're waiting tables, of course. Tonight, Richard Schlesinger has the story of a Jersey girl who dreamed of being a Broadway hoofer and then got her lucky break.
So tired. There are a lot of young women who would say Jessica Lee Golden is one of the luckiest people in the world.
Okay, call me. I will.
Her mother is taking her from her home in Parsippany, New Jersey, to the 3:30 bus bound for New York. But it's not the city she's headed for that makes her the envy of so many. It's the street. Jessica has found a home on Broadway.
This was my dream job since I was 10. I think this is this show that made me fall in love with musical theater.
One singular sensation, every little step she takes.
She's just 20 and starring in the revival of A Chorus Line. She plays Val, the surgically enhanced cynic who got the Broadway job she dreamed of with a nip and a tuck and a little bit of luck.
Tightened up the derriere, did the nose and all that goes with it.
Jessica's real-life story is kind of like a showbiz fable.
1, 2, stretch. job.
She had no agent and no Broadway experience when she showed up to audition with nearly 1,000 other young women looking for that 1 in a million break.
The odds were very slim. I just wanted to go.
But the odds got better very quickly. Out of all those people, director Bob Avian noticed her almost immediately.
There's always that person you spot in a crowd, and you go, who is that? And keep your eye on them, and they demand your attention.
Jessie was that person that day?
Absolutely.
Here's how quickly it happened for her. Just a few months before she hit Broadway, Jessica was doing a road show in Akron. But she was back home with her parents in New Jersey when she got the call that she got the part.
Everything that I worked for my entire life was happening with that one call.
It meant that much to you?
Absolutely.
We did what we had to do.
She's gotten reviews actresses only dream of. Boffo, said The New Yorker, owns her role, said The New York Times. It's a lot for a 20-year-old to get used to.
Hi.
And now her art is imitating her life.
I kissed the folks goodbye, got on a Trailways bus and headed for the Big Bad Apple.
Except she's had to move to New York from Parsippany. Makes it easier to dance 8 shows a week and start looking for her next big break. Richard Schlesinger, CBS News, on Broadway.
I agree with the critics. She is terrific. That's the CBS Evening News. I'm Katie Couric. I'll be back tomorrow from New York. Then on Wednesday, we'll be reporting from Amman, Jordan, the site of that very critical meeting between President Bush and Iraqi Prime Minister Maliki. I hope you'll join us. But for now, good night.
I'm the son of a gun. She is one of a kind.
CBS News. See it now, anytime, anywhere.